When it comes to your machine, the thing that you need to be looking out for is a machine, especially on the low end side of it, is a machine that has a relatively fast read and write speed when it comes to editing, and a machine that has onboard memory for its graphics card. Hi everybody, welcome to another episode here at Light Hill Academy, where we share our experiences so you can become better storytellers. Today we're going to be talking about gear and what gear you need when you start in video production. So stick around, take it away. Welcome back, everybody. Now, I remember when I started in video production or as a videographer, I had really no clue what gear I needed. Now, I knew I needed a camera and I knew I needed to edit, but I didn't really think about what gear I can start out with. And I think going back and looking back at it, if I had an idea of this is what I need, I would have planned better, saved better to get the gear eventually that I need to go full-time freelance, or just have it on hand to shoot any project that comes my way. It was only back in 2019 really that I got my own gear, and it was in about 2015, 16 there where I really got comprehensive understanding of what gear you need what basic gear you need when you go on a shoot. Okay guys, so where do we start? Let's start with the camera gear. When it comes to the camera gear, I would look at 3 cameras. If your budget is really, really tight, look into the Canon 700D or the Canon T5i Rebel. Check out this tag. I don't always know where it is. Check it out and see what we have to say about that little camera and why it's good as a beginner camera for when you're starting in video production. The 2 other cameras that I will list for you is the RX, the Sony RX100, and the Sony a6300. Now, when it comes to the a6300, one good thing to know about that camera is it does overheat when you are recording for longer than 25 minutes. It was initially a little issue with the camera when it comes out, but other than that, it's a really, really great camera to have. Now, obviously, when it comes to your lenses, if you can afford a set of prime lenses, go for it. Most of us can't. I would just start off with a zoom lens, anything from about 18 millimeters to about 80 millimeters. Anything in that range would work well for you as you'll be running and gunning, you'll be shooting interviews, and that's normally the range when it comes to focal lengths. That's normally the range that we're looking towards anyway. When it comes to SD cards, guys, get at least 4 SD cards. Get a 16 gig SD card, a 32 gig, 2 32 gig SD cards, and a 64 gig SD cards. Get an SD card case if you can. And now, I didn't get a case, but I got this little case. I was buying these clips. I use these clips on my sets actually quite a lot. And so I put my SD cards in here. Guys, it's just a great workflow. When you finish dumping your footage on your computer, I normally put it straight back into my SD card box so that I know where they are. They're not scattered in a bag or in a pocket or somewhere where I can't find them. Working with a certain methodology when you shoot is really, really smart. Now, when it comes to tripods, guys, I can't stress it enough. Don't invest in a cheap tripod. When it comes to used gear as well, you get really decent tripods on the used gear market. I would really invest in a good one. You're going to use it a lot. Guys, we know what tripods do. They steady your camera when you're doing whip pans, pans, tilts, all those nice things, and they really come in handy. I really find them good when it comes to shooting time lapses. I like to shoot my time lapse on a tripod. I know it's steady. Don't like to put my tripod in a place, especially if it's going to stand for a long while on surfaces that I don't really have any control over. But other than that, a tripod is a great investment. Try to get a tripod with a removable head that you can put a slider on there. That's why I love Manfrotto tripods. the head goes off and I can put a slider on there, and then my tripod now is not just a tripod anymore, but I can use my slider on there and I can elevate my slider to a certain position. As well, when it comes to tripod, you might be shooting low, you might be shooting high, and sometimes shooting like that or bending down on your knees and trying to get that shot. It's uncomfortable, and the tripod can just really help you out to steady those shots in those moments when you need them. Guys, next up is audio devices. I would really invest in a lav mic. This is the lav mic that we're using. It was a cheap $9 mic that I bought on Amazon. They work really well. It's an iPhone mic, if I can put it like that. It comes with your smartphone, but it has a little jack, so it can work with external recorders, and it can work with on board, or it can work with your jack on your camera, or your jack slot or port on your camera. These are great little cameras to have. Then I would invest on an onboard mic. Now, the onboard mic that I recommend is the Boya onboard mic. It's a great, cheap little mic. It saved my bacon once when I was recording a interview outdoors. And while I was busy recording this interview, the wind was blowing. I thought, the little cover that I had on this specific lav mic that I was using would work fine. When I went into post and I started to edit, I realized, man, the sound is just horrible. Now, at that point in time, I was recording to an external mic, or I think I was recording to an external recorder, but I might have just used my iPhone. There's a great little app you can download from Rode. It's a great little external recording app that you can use for your iPhone. Link will also be in the description for that. Now, guys, I used that Boya mic. It saved my life. It had a wind filter and a dead mouse, a dead moose, whatever you want to call it, and the audio was great. It was a directional mic, so the audio was really of great quality. And this little onboard mic really surprised me. So kudos to Boya for that. Now, the next thing I would recommend is an external recorder. I would have an onboard mic, a lav mic, and an external recorder if I could when it comes to audio. You can't skimp when you want to have good audio. All these devices play a role. Now, guys, if you can't afford all three of these devices, get at least a nice onboard mic and a nice, even if it's a wired lav mic, it's better than nothing. And it's better than just recording straight into the preamp of your camera. Now, if you can afford a external audio recorder, here are some recommendations from our side which you can get that I think will just add so much value, production value, to your shoots. Guys, that is audio. Let's move on to lighting. Now, I'm lighting here today with a very cheap LED softbox. I bought it on Amazon from a company in China. I can't remember what the name is of it because it's one of those no-name brand type of lights, but these lights have served me now for 2 years. Now, they're not going to be great for outdoors. They're not going to be great for high production value shoots, but when it comes to small, intimate shoots and your creative thinking, there's a lot that you can do with these lights. Guys, there are a lot of LED lights out there. Here are our three recommendations of LED lights that we think you should get that should form part of your kit when it comes to your startup video production. The next thing that is a must-have, even if you're doing photography, is reflectors, especially if you're going to be shooting outdoors. Reflectors does amazing work when you're shooting outdoors. You can get the sun as your backlight and you can fill your subject with the necessary light you need to make that image pop. I would recommend buying a reflector. It is a must-have when it comes to shooting outdoors, especially when it comes to lighting, as you'll be using the sunlight as your main source, as your main key light. Now, guys, when it comes to post-production, I recommend 3 things. A decent machine. When it comes to your machine, the thing that you need to be looking out for is a machine, especially on the low end side of it, is a machine that has a relatively fast read and write speed when it comes to editing, and a machine that has onboard memory for its graphics card. If you can boost your memory up to 16 gig, I would go for that and start at least with a minimum of 16 gig RAM when it comes to your machines. Then get an external SD card reader, especially when it comes to Macs. I love buying used Macs. They are great, especially between 2015 to about 2019. They are affordable. They're still great machines to edit on. I'm still editing on a late 2014 Mac Retina 5K machine because it has a Fusion drive, which is a solid state drive with a normal hard drive with 24 gigs of RAM, and that machine is still serving me really well up until this day. So I would look into that. Now, when it comes to that, get an SD card reader, like I mentioned before. Ports do wear off. And some machines wouldn't have enough USB ports or doesn't have an external or a built-in SD card reader. An SD card reader will just help you dump your footage directly onto your external hard drive. And that's what I'm going to be talking about next. Get an external hard drive. If you're going to be using Premiere Pro to edit on, get a 0.5 gig hard drive or at least 1 terabyte drive, and then get a 2 terabyte or 4 terabyte drive. The one is going to be your scratch disk. If you've used Premiere Pro before, you'll know what I'm talking about. And then use your main drive, 2 gigabyte drive or 4 gigabyte drive to edit on and dump your footage on. Now, guys, I'm going to leave you with that. I think I forgot one thing that I'm going to mention right here at the end. When it comes to your lenses, buy a UV filter for your lens. The UV filter is just going to protect your lens from any scratches. And if you drop it, it might be the thing that saves your lens from breaking. Now, I'm not saying that it will always save your lens, but especially when it comes to scratches, I definitely recommend a UV filter for your lens, and they are not expensive to buy. Well, I'm going to leave you with that. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with other people. That would really help our channel a lot. Thank you for watching this video, guys. If you want to learn more about videography, photography, editing, post-production, media in general, I do recommend our Light Hill Academy internship program. It's 18 months where we take the best of film school and the best of real life, working on real life projects, and we mix that together. Guys, I'm going to leave you with my quote of the day. Craig told me that Ronaldo also uses this quote: hard work beats talent if talent fails to work hard.